No, my notes from 2 weeks ago said to get to part two faster, so we will do that and move in the direction of working on part two. Um, we'll work on anything you want to work on. What you just let me know. I am here for y'all. We were making some headway in our in-person class as we're learning part two, feeling more comfortable with the repulse the monkey. It was when we got to leisurely tie the coat going the other way that was like, oh, kind of freaked our freak a little bit. I put us collective because I haven't taught part two in a while. So in some ways I feel like I'm learning to teach it again. And in some ways learning to do it again because I don't practice it a lot. Anyway, we will get there and we will work on it. And I guess I say that to be patient with me as I'm new at conveying how to do these moves. And virtual is such a weird space for the details. So
oh yeah, yeah.
I'm glad you have a little experience with it. That helps me feel more comfortable. But anyway, now I think we're nice and warm. We're in our stable stance. Our feet are shoulder width, hip width apart. We have that soft bend in our knee. I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit. That way when we do our spinal stretch, we can see all parts. Oh, we're breathing. Reminding myself not to hold my breath. Things that go through my head as we do our Tai Chi is, how's my posture? Am I holding tension? And am I breathing? And it's not just in Tai Chi, it's really throughout the day. How's my posture? Am I holding tension? Am I breathing? And that's where Tai Chi bleeds into real life and how, we get body awareness from what we learn in Tai Chi. Let's start with our neck. Oh, got Gwen coming. That was a good time. And while I'm here, I think I can remove my pen and, oops, I was going to showcase you, Mr. Lance. And spotlight. Okay, that should get me all right. Good morning, Miss Gwen. Glad you're here.
Good morning.
We're just starting our warm-ups, or our warm-up stretches, beginning with our neck. One thing I love about Tai Chi is slowing down. Sometimes it's hard to go from that rush of the morning to the wonderful slow pace of Tai Chi. I feel my body fighting myself to slow down. Side to side with our neck. You don't have to go as far as you can go. Go until you feel that slight stretch. The Tai Chi trainers tell us 75%. And that kind of talk is funny to me because I don't know how to measure that. I just know to go until I feel a little bit of a stretch. And I know that the more I do this movement, the more mobile my neck will be. Hopefully less tension. And I like to joke that the more you do it, soon you'll get to be Reagan from, what's that movie, The Exorcist, where you can turn your head all around. You'll be so flexible. You'll be Reagan. Isn't that her name? I think it is.
I can't remember.
If not, just go with it. It's the girl who spins her head in circles because she's possessed with a demon or something. It's extremely frightening of a show. Anyway, I tend to get stuck on this one right here because it just feels so good to stretch our neck. Let's roll our shoulders. And back. Massage you give yourself. Big shoulder circle. I like this movement to practice breath and our little words of affirmation that we talked about. I added a little pairing to this breathing, and that is to breathe in flow, to breathe out control. And I'm an ultra planner control person. And so tomorrow is prom, and I have no control over the schedule. It is completely out of my hands. And that freaked me out just a little bit. And I thought, well, let's don't be freaked out about it. Let's think. Breathe in flow, just go with the flow. Whatever comes, just go with it. And then exhale, control. Just let that control go because you ain't got it. So each moment that you're faced with a challenge, think about those words. What is it that you need to let go of? And what is it that you can embrace that can help you in that situation? It doesn't change a thing. It changes you, and that changes everything. And that's such a weird thing to say all in 3 sentences, isn't it? Let's grab our ball and separate and stretch that spine. I probably need to write that down because that seems like it was way more profound than I even realized. Please don't quote me. I'm sure someone else said it first, but it sounds pretty smart. I'm going to have to think about it some more this afternoon. I'm just trying to be all about personal growth and make my life as easy as possible in a world that just wants it to be difficult. Side to side. Thinking here, engaging our core as we push our body to the side. Our ball staying within our frame. We don't take it all the way to the side, as far as we can go. That would create tension, especially in our knee. Now to our hips, shifting weight, heel forward, hands back, pause, toe back, hands forward. Really challenging that balance, which is good. That's how we grow. Shift and the other side. Side to side, again, staying in our frame with our hands as we shift the weight. Keep an upright posture. Remember those three things. How's my posture? Am I holding any tension? And am I breathing? It's just a replay check-in with yourself. Setting our bodies up to not fall and to not have pain. As you know, tension is part of the pain cycle. Our knees, shift, lift, tap and punch. Scoot back a little bit. If you're feeling extra strong, see if you can tap that toe a little higher in the air. Challenge to stay slow. See Sharita coming in. We'll do one more on each side. Kind of throwing that fourth one in as a challenge. And my legs feel it too. All right. Now for our step forward. Shift, small step, keeping both feet flat on the floor as we shift. Bring it back. Good morning, Miss Sharita.
Good morning.
We made it to our knees warm-up stretch.
Okay.
Your fist, are you holding tension there? I just caught myself clenching my fist like I was really gonna punch something. And that just goes to show you those three things, you know, how's my posture? Am I holding tension? Am I breathing? How quickly you can catch yourself doing those. So we're really not punching anyone, whether we want to or not. And even here, when we have our hands together, are you squeezing your hands? Big toe, little toe.
All right, I have to mention, do your pants have stripes?
Oh yeah, they're pinstripes.
Okay, my TV or whatever on screen, it's like the coolest thing because it pixelates or modulates. It's like the coolest thing, the stripes and stuff as you move. So was I just seeing things or was it did you really have stripes?
Yes, they're stripes. I debated on whether wearing them because they kind of have a bell bottom and I wasn't sure if we can see my feet, but they're short enough. I think it'll work out. I did bring other breeches, but the back of my shirt, just to show y'all, are the this year's senior baseball players, if y'all can see that. And they're wearing their pinstripe uniforms. So that's why I chose to wear pinstripes.
Okay. All right. It's just the coolest effect.
Call me fashionista. Okay. All right, we're good and warmed up. I tell you what, I'm next to sweating. So we're gonna go through our part one movements. We'll do it a couple of times just for the practice. And I think it just gives us kind of a boost of self-esteem. Like, oh yeah, I know that. I'm good at that. But when we go to learning new things, and it can make us feel a little defeated sometimes. But we like a challenge. So let's do our easy first, starting with basic and advanced 6. And begin. Advanced 6. Well, that's what we talk about, Jing, Jing, the mental quietness that we can experience when there's not talking, and we can just go through those movements and really flow through them. Oftentimes, I mean, that's the internal experience, and oftentimes we only get that when we're by ourselves. We don't get it a lot in class because a teacher she don't like to stop talking. But I don't know what goes through y'all's heads whenever you go through those movements. If you're thinking about what your body is doing, if you're thinking, step, shift, follow step, or put up your guard and deliver, if you're saying the same words that I say whenever I do talk, I catch myself saying the open, close, I'm shift, step, switch. Sometimes I'll catch myself just thinking those the words that go with the movements, and sometimes my body just goes into complete autopilot, and it's just doing it, and then I realize I'm not even thinking about it. My body's just going with it, and that's that moment when it's like, so relaxing to just give in to the movement and that flow, that slow smoothness of our movements. Now let's do it again. And I want to say too, only because in class do I move to go into our advanced movements. If we were in a different space, or if I was just by myself, I wouldn't go from the end of basic 6 where we open and close and then move over here. I only do that for the sake of space. And I don't know that I ever said that, but you don't necessarily have to move. It can go right into the movement.
It's kind of self-evident.
Okay. some things you just never talk about, and you think, should I mention that? So I do. Y'all, surely y'all know by now, if I think it, it comes out. It's not just with y'all in class, it's everywhere I go. All right, here we go. And commence. That's one of those Hellcats, isn't it? Open. Very good. That's what my son says he wants, is a Hellcat, like he has any business with a Hellcat.
They
All
are
right.
out there. I said they were riding by here.
Number one, I don't know who's affording it. Number two, he has no business with a Hellcat. So, anywho, when okay, so we're gonna go through our part 2. Oh, we've come so far, right? So whenever we do our part 2, we are going to start with something we already know. We know this, brush knee. So brush knee to the right. Leisurely tie the coat, step back left, karate chop right, shift, follow step 3 fingers, zip it up. Step right, shift and offer that pie, follow step. Step back left, shift. This pie comes around. We shift right, deliver the pie, follow step left, now to the front, step left, right, adjust weight, hands face, open, close. Step back right, shift. No, step back, single whip, shift right, step back left, push, turn, separate, eyes follow our right, fist under elbow, shift left, turn right, shift right, turn left, step left, shift, follow step right. And I know I didn't talk about what our hands were doing, because I can only say so much at the same time. But when that single whip hand, it just goes along for the ride. This right hand comes down to our hip, shift, end up there, When I step, as I shift, that left hand turns to face what I'll call the front, and our right hand, as we shift, comes up, and we follow step right, and our right hand, not doing mirror image, is here. So that's what our hands are doing. It goes from boom and here. That was hard to do without turning my body. So that's what's happening with our hands. So we're coming from fist under elbow to start our repulse the monkey. So we step out right and we lay our hands. So basically, if it's gonna feel like brush knees. I'm sorry for the ums. There's a lot of things going on outside of this room. Somebody's moving offices, so there's a lot of motion. It's distracting. So our hands go from here and they're gonna lay out. So that's a lot like when we do brush knee, our hand reaches out in front of us and the hand comes down to protect our elbow. It's not an exact angle, but it's at an angle. You're not going to lay it out to the side. I mean, I just did that and it really felt bad in my shoulder and in my elbow. It's somewhere in the middle as we lay that hand over. So that makes it feel like our brush knee, where we step out, lay our hands. So now our feet are wide. Shift right. And then you know how we do that prepare step? We bring that left foot in, our left hand comes to our hip. I step my left, what I call the back, toward y'all. And this right hand comes around and pushes, follow step. Now, did that not feel like brush knee? Here, step out, lay hands, shift, prepare, step, shift, follow step. How's that feel? Good?
Yes.
Okay. I know it, and if I need to make adjustments on my placement to not confuse y'all, because we're going in a circle. We're going from here front to the back, and then we're going back to the front, and then we're going to the left. So we're doing 3 brush knees in a row. They're just a little bit modified. If that gives you some comfort in knowing you know this movement. Step out, lay hands, shift right, left foot, left hand comes back. That's that prepare step. Step left to the back, shift left as your right hand pushes, and follow step right. Now we're going to step back with our right foot to give us some room to move. So that widened our area to move. We're going to shift right. This left foot is going to come around. Okay, so hold on, let me speed it up. This may not feel really good on your knees, slowed down. When you speed it up, it takes some of that pressure off of your knee. I noticed that the other day when I was doing it. By slowing down that movement right here. This is what we're going for. Step, shift, follow step. By slowing it down, it just put more pressure on my left knee, and that's the one that hurts me anyway. So it might not bother you at all. So we just finished that brush knee to the back. I step back right to give myself more space. I shift right, but I still keep a little bit of weight on this left foot, on the heel of that foot, and it's going to pivot. Let me just talk about what my feet are doing and forget my hands for a second. I'm going to pivot that left foot. It's not around. It's pivot to that left wall on the heel. And then I'm going to shift to my left. And my right foot pivots on the ball of the foot until I get to this, to till I get to a space that's comfortable for me to pick it up and step to the front. Shift, and then follow step left. All right, so let me say that again. We come in from fist under elbow. We step out, reach that arm, protect that elbow. Shift right, left foot in, prepare step. Step left to the back. Shift as I push, follow step right. All right, talking about our feet. I step back right, shift right. I bring that left foot around on my heel. I shift to my left, bring my right foot around on the ball. I step my right foot to the front, shift, and follow step left. I want you to practice that footwork, not worrying about what your hands are doing right now once we get back there. We have that first, I call brush knee, shift, prepare, step, shift, follow step. Step back, shift right, left foot comes around, shift left, right foot, step right to the front, shift, follow step left. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, Sharita, Gwen.
Yes, it makes sense.
Well, good. I'm so glad because this is it's hard to go from the front and to the back and back to the front. And worrying about mirror image and all, all those things. I'm trying to describe what we're doing with our feet. So we're at fist under elbow. We step out, lay hands. Shift, prepare, step, shift, push, follow step right. Now, if you watch Dr. Lamb do this, he does not step back. I choose to teach y'all to step back so that you have more room to move when you pivot those feet around to go back to the front. So if you can do it without stepping back, if you're comfortable doing that, that's no problem. I just think it's nice to have a little bit of extra space to move around. So your follow step may be wide enough to where you can pivot yourself around to the front. So that's a place for you to modify for your needs. I just teach the step back because I think it helps people to have a little bit more space to step back.
I don't think it puts as much, the step back doesn't put as much torque on the knee. That's just my opinion. Your mileage may vary.
I agree. And that's really why I started teaching it is, that's my bad knee. And so, I thought, heck, if it hurts my knee, it's going to hurt somebody else's. So to give yourself that little bit of more space to move, bring that left around, shift. And, we pivot our feet in that fist under elbow move. So we got familiar with the feeling of that pivot with this. We pivot on the heel, pivot on the ball. And so it happens again in this movement when we step back. We pivot on the heel, pivot on the ball, step, shift, follow step. And then the end of the movement is to step to the side, step, shift, follow step. So step, shift, follow step is definitely our way of life in Advanced 6 and Part 2. So let's try to incorporate what our hands are doing on that pivot from the back to the front. So we're at fist under elbow. We step out, lay hands. Shift right, separate, prepare, step left to the back, shift as I push, follow step right. Step back right. My right hand comes down to this elbow as this hand comes up. When I pivot that foot, that's where my hands are. Let me speed it up because I sometimes get lost of exactly when things like this happen. Yes, here. So I just brush knee to the back. I step back right. As I pivot that left foot, there's left hand came up, my right hand came to my elbow as I pivoted around. Now I shift left, and as I pivot that right foot, my right hand comes down to my hip. I step right, shift as I push that left hand, and follow step left. So again, it's not a foreign movement because it's a reach, protect the elbow, separate, and push, just like in brush knee. So it's just a little variation from there, but the movement is familiar. So here at fist under elbow, step out, lay hand, shift, separate, prepare, step left to the back, shift as I push, follow step right, step back right, shift, there I brought that left hand up, my right hand to my elbow, brought my left hand or left foot around, shift left as I pivot that right foot, my right hand comes to my hip, I step right, shift as my left hand pushes to the front, follow step left. And then the end move is step left, that hand comes down to the hip, and my right hand comes around as I shift, it pushes, and follow step right. All right, so let me talk you all the way through it from fist under elbow. Step out right, reach, shift right, separate, prepare. Step left to the back, shift as I push my right, follow step right. Step back right, shift right, that left foot comes up, so does our hands. Pivot the left foot, shift left, pivot right as that right hand comes to my hip. Step right, shift as I push the left hand to the front, follow step left. And then the end movement to the left, I step left, that left foot or left hand comes to my hip. I shift as my right hand pushes and follow step right. All right, fist under elbow. Step out right, reach hand. I don't know exactly what to say there. It's a reach, it's a lay it over, it's a protect the elbow. Shift right, separate, prepare. Step left to the back, shift as I push that right hand, follow step right. Step back right, shift, left hand comes up, so does that left toe, pivots, shift left, as my right pivots, my right hand comes to the hip, step right, shift as I push that left hand to the front, follow step left, hand comes down to my left hip, my right hand pushes as I shift weight, and follow step right. I did not breathe that whole time. Let me do it without talking. Let's just see what kind of shape we're in. Here, fist under elbow. Repulse the monkey. Notice that things happen a little more smoothly without me talking. And I think it's helpful for me to talk because we got to know what each pieces and part is doing. But on this here, back. Okay, so once I get here, watch this movement, how smooth it is. It's not as bring left hand down, right hand here. You know, it's not as choppy, and that's what I mean. It's not as difficult on your knee. All right, watch this. This is where I'll step back. You see how things happened at the same time, but I can't say all that at the same time. And but that's what it looks like. Here, fist under elbow, step out, lay hands, shift, separate, prepare, step, shift as I push, follow step, step back, shift, bring it up, shift around, step, push, follow step, step, shift, push and follow step. Making sense?
Yes.
It's blowing my mind more than it is y'all. Y'all are good. Y'all are so good. But is this a super advanced move? Absolutely. If you have problems with balance and falls, this really is not the move for you. This part 2 of Dr. Lamb's program is not in the falls prevention study. So if you're having a question about that, that's why. It's part 2. It's beyond that advanced movement. So it is going to be a lot more challenging. Does that mean you can't do it? No. Just acknowledging it and work, and our goal is to work towards it. Do y'all want me to send you? Hold on, I'll show you. I have it in here. I have this for part 2. Do y'all want me to send you this poster?
Yes.
Yes, if you
Yeah,
can.
I can. I will. I will send y'all this poster, and y'all will have it to have right in front of you, and it's listed all there. It calls this the 31 forms, because this has 9 movements in part 2. So when we do our basic 6, advanced 6, and then our 9 from part 2, they say it adds to 31. Don't make me math today. All right. So let's start with our brush knee and go all the way through our repulse the monkey. Open, close, brush knee to the right. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Step back, single whip. Fist under elbow. Repulse the monkey. To the back. Come back to the front. And to the left. How'd y'all do? We're all working.
Passable.
Very good. You know what's next is the last movement. Well, other than open and close, we kind of give it as a pass. The last movement of this series is leisurely tie the coat. Remember, I told you, you leisurely tie the coat 4 times in part 2. So I'm going to push you to this, and then of course we'll come back and practice it. We're not trying to get 100% comfortable with anything and before we move on. We push ourselves and then we come back. So we just finished repulse the monkey. All right, so this is leisurely tie the coat, but it's to the other side. So we're going to step back right, and our right hand comes down to our hip, and our left hand karate chops. Shift, follow step left, 3 fingers. Zip it up. Step left, shift, offer that pie, follow step right. Step back right, shift, that left foot pops up, and we come around with our pie. Shift left as we deliver that pie. Follow step right. Now to the front. Step, shift, step, hands face, open and close. So that completes the whole series before we repeat it. So you know, just like in our advanced 6, how we did it all to the right. No, we did it all to the left and then we do it to the right. That's what we do in part 2. We did all of that we just did, and now we're going to do it all back to the other side. So we finished brush knee. Let's do that last leisurely tie the coat. Step back right, karate chop left, shift, follow step 3 fingers, zip it up. Step left, shift, offer that pie, follow step right. Step back right, shift, that left foot pops up. We bring our pie around. Shift left as we deliver that pie, follow step right to the front. Step, shift, step, hands face, open and close. Did it feel weird to do leisurely tie the coat to that side?
A little bit, not terrible.
Just a little.
Yes. Yes.
So I always think it's weird to do it the other way the first time. So I'm gonna just follow me through this. I mean, it may be a disaster, but I'm gonna walk you through the whole end of it to let you know what happens. So we just finished. Now we're ready to repeat. And what do we start with? Brush knee. We brush knee to the right. Remember, that's how we started part 2, is brush knee to the left. So it's like we're starting all over again with brush knee. We go to the right. Brush knee. Now we're doing leisurely tie the coat. I mean, we just did leisurely tie the coat, but remember, we're repeating it all backwards. So step back, right, karate chop left, shift, follow step 3 fingers, zip it up. Step, shift and offer, follow step, step back, bring that pie around, shift as I deliver, follow step right to the front. Open and close. Step back, single whip. Shift left, step back right. Push, turn, separate. Eyes follow that left hand. Fist under elbow. Shift right. Pivot left. Shift left. Pivot right. Step. Shift. Follow step. Fist under elbow. All right, repulse the monkey. Step out. To the back. Oh gosh, I lost my balance. Follow step. Now to the front. And to the side. All right, we're picking up familiar now. Here's our last leisurely tie the coat. Step back left, karate chop right, shift, follow step 3 fingers, zip it up, step, shift and offer, follow step to the back, shift, right foot pops up, bring it around, shift as I deliver, follow step to the front, open, close. And that is part 2. That's the whole thing. That's all of part 2. So do you feel comfort in knowing you know all of it?
Yeah.
You have been shown all of it.
Comforted and confused.
But that's good because Gwen, think about if you want, you know, with our basic 6, and I'm not just talking to Gwen, but you know, basic 6, the first time we did it, we were challenged. We were, you know, we were like, oh, I'm confused. Oh. maybe not as much. It's definitely not as complicated, our basic 6 as part 2. But you get the idea. When it's first introduced to you, it's like, that's a lot to learn. But we just keep breaking it down and keep practicing. And so, we have 3 more classes after this, and I think we can make some good headway through.
Okay.
So let's go part 1, advanced, basic, and then all the way through part 2. Even if you just watch, even if you stop and watch, just get some familiarity with it. Come in whenever you know, even if that's just open and close, okay? From the top. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Advanced 6, brush knee. We better learn to love some brush knee, huh? Play the lute. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Part 2. Brush. Oh, no, not part 2. You still have to go that way. Brush knee. Play the lute. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger to the front. Open, close. Now part 2. Brush knee. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Step back, single whip. Fist under elbow. Repulse the monkey. Tie the coat. Open, close. That's the end. We're going back to the front or back to the tops. Repeat it all. Starting with brush knee. Let me just come over here just in case. Brush knee to the left. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Step back, single whip. Fist under elbow. Repulse the monkey. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. And close it out. Whew, that was a lot. We got this though. And but I wanted to introduce you to it all the way through. In some ways, I feel like it gives you hope to know those things. I've learned those things. I just kind of got to get used to putting all those things all together in a sequence, because you do. We've learned all of it. Man, knowing brush knee will get us through a big percent of it, and then the other percent is leisurely tie the coat. So step back, single whip, open and close. Man, that's nothing, right? So we got this. We'll keep going over it. Telling our legs, thank you for working so hard. I probably need to tell my knees thank you too for working so hard. Oh, give yourself tension and then let it go. We don't want to live with tension. And recognizing that we're holding it, that's the first step to letting it go. We can be holding tension and not even realize it. One more, gather and release. Big shoulder circle. One more for goodness. Our fist representing our strength. Let me go to mirror image. Our left fingers together representing our friendship, our thumb in our humility. And we put those together in mutual respect. We say namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, thank y'all for letting me have this opportunity to share part 2, because I love it so much, even if it stresses me out a little bit to teach it, because I want to be able to do a good job. This is such an awesome opportunity to get to share things that I love that I don't get to do very often, because it's super advanced, right?
Yeah.
But I'll put this poster. It doesn't come like this in the mail, so Sharita, don't worry. It will come folded up. It doesn't come so your PO box can handle it. But I'll put that in the mail today, and so y'all will have it at least to look at, and maybe it can help you. But y'all let me know if y'all need anything between now and next week, and we'll pick it up next week and learn some more and practice more.
Okay.
All right, y'all have a great weekend.
Great weekend, everybody. Love y'all.
Love you
Thank
too.
Go
you for the
Pirates.
opportunity.
Yes, go Pirates.
Thank you.
Hopefully they'll win tonight. They're on they're on that line of maybe winning region championship. You know,
Oh, okay, exciting.
they have to win and they can't put up any more than 7 and somebody else has to lose, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
But I signed up to work the concession stand. So remember your graduated seniors' parents, because sometimes they like to come back and be involved. And if they're not asked, they're not going to push themselves up there, but at least give them an opportunity, because I'm kind of looking forward to going.
Good, good.
All right, y'all. Love you. See you next week.
Love y'all. All right, see y'all next week. Good night.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.